Welcome into the South Hockey Network, everybody. Live on YouTube, live from Paul Hruby Ice Arena here in Oak Park, Illinois. It is another SHL game for these Glenbrook South Titans as they travel on the road to take on the Fenwick Friars here at Paul Hruby. Dylan Ward here on the call as always, but this time I'm joined by a Glenbrook South alum from the class of 2022, David Ventura, who played Glenbrook South hockey. And unlike some other analysts I've had on the broadcast, David will be staying a while as he'll have pretty much almost all of your games from now until the end of January. So David, it is good to have you back in the booth as we continue this tradition of you coming on during your winter break.
Yeah, Dylan, good to be back. I was back for a little bit over Thanksgiving, but now I'm here on a longer time frame over the winter break all the way until the end of January. So it'll be a fun 6 or so weeks.
Yes, it will.
Until I got to depart back to Ohio.
Well, the Titans are playing in their first of 3 games in 3 nights. A couple tougher opponents on Saturday and Sunday, but today they play the 5-15 in SHL play Fenwick Friars. They beat them earlier this season at Glenview Ice Center by a score of 5-1. This is their second meeting of the season. And David, some hope for the Friars early on in the season as they began league play with a record of 3-3 after only 2 wins last year. It's been a tough stretch for them as of late. They came into their last game losers of 6 in a row before their first win in quite some time in a shootout over York. So they're looking to make it a 2-game winning streak if they can find a way against the Titans. Meanwhile, Glenbrook South, after 4 wins straight in the SHL, losing their last 2 to Loyola 4-2, but picking up a point on Wednesday night in an overtime loss to New Trier Green.
Yeah, Dylan, and as we can see, there's no game in the SHL that you can take for granted. Just a couple of days ago, Carmel Catholic beat New Trier Green with a big point difference, too. It wasn't really a close game.
5-1.
5-1. And, you know, of course you know that, right? You're the one posting all that on the SHL Network, which keeps everyone informed.
Final score.
That's right, you do. But again, Dylan, this is not one that the Titans can take for granted. Obviously not as tough as an opponent as a GBN or a New Trier, but nevertheless 2 points you need in the standings before we head to that Christmas New Year's break.
All right, well, the teams will meet at their bench. We'll take a look at today's starting goaltenders for the Titans. Not too surprising, it will be Thomas Preston. Has played all 16 games, each and every minute of those games for Jim Philbin in SHL play this season. A goals allowed average of 2.50, a save percentage of .909. Also, not too long ago, Governor's Cup MVP in the Titans championship run in Jamestown.
Yeah, Dylan, and that's exactly what you want to see out of your starting goalie. Even though he's a freshman, he's still your starting goalie, so really good numbers. And like you said, those Jamestown numbers are really good. And only 2 goals allowed against New Trier Green, and one of them was in extra time, so only 1 goal allowed in
regulation.
Well, it's not
minutes.
60 minutes.
51.
Yeah, you know, I should be good at math, but I'm not. The computer does it for me. So 1 goal allowed in 51 minutes, and unfortunately the Titans couldn't close that one out, but nevertheless, good numbers good goals allowed numbers from your starting goalie. Now we just got to get clicking on the offensive side of things.
Well, for Nick Fabrini and company on the Fenwick bench, they'll go with Cole Lessie. Similar story. He has played all of their SHL action. Goals allowed average of .320 and a save percentage of .874. A big body. Hard to find holes in him. As the Titans wearing white here on the road, they'll go from right to left in period number 1. And the Friars wearing their home blacks, they'll go from left to right. Paul Hruby Ice Arena, the Titans' first game here in any competition since October 2021, David, your senior year. Now this one comes to the near side. Mulvey will chip it deep below the line, played out to the far side circle. Aiden Weller, but it gets taken away, and Arden Tantero can't quite clear the zone. It's kept alive by Stevens. Stevens coming into this one with a 5-game point streak in SHL play and goals scored in 2 straight as he scored against Loyola and New Trier. Here comes Hoffer over the line. He'll flip this one down to the far side. It's grabbed by the Friars. Dean Vajuk now for Fenwick, comes out of the zone, gets it up to Pabst. William Pabst trying to lift it down below the line, but the ref in the way, and Ryan Mulvey will be able to retreat. Just getting started here in Oak Park. Titans and Friars, second meeting of the season in SHL play. The Titans looking to clinch the 2 out of 3 as they won 5-1 at Glenview Ice Center last month, with a third game coming up between these two at the Edge Ice Arena on December the 5th. First game back for both teams after winter break. This one's thrown up high, but missed Fenwick. It'll roll all the way down as Jack Pasternak gets to it in the corner with pressure from Cesario. Schmidt, but Surma knocks it off of his possession, tries to throw it in front for Cesario. That pass didn't work as it goes to the far side. Sokol, backhander, goes right to Pasternak, and Fenwick regroups. Good flow to start this game. Not a whistle yet here, just under 2 minutes in. Here's Pasternak trying to get this one out. Another ref in the way, so it bounces down below the line, and Blake Zorovich will feed it out to neutral ice. He was looking to connect with Machin, but just past him. Now Will Fagan takes a hit into the far boards. Adam Sokol, nice move to get around one. Sokol out to Lytle, his intended target. Instead, the loose one grabbed by Sokol. He'll backhand this one down while he finishes the line change. And the Titans have some fresh legs out. While Fenwick comes the other way, it's Vegas chipping this one over the line, right wing side. Cole McPherson down below the cage. Plays it to the far side. Lytle looking to backhand it out. He could not. 2.5 minutes through. No whistles yet here in Oak Park, Fenwick and Glenbrook South. SHL game number 17 for the Titans, looking for their 10th win in league play. This one given up. Lytle swoops in to get it right back, play it off the far side boards and out. Now kicking this one ahead, Zach Boris just could not keep the puck on his stick as he'll have to chase that one down to the far side corner. Off a deflection, it gets taken away by Alex Pisano. Pisano chips it in past McPherson. Loses an edge, and McPherson grabs it in the corner, plays it to the far side for Higgins. Now out to Jonah Weiss, just past him, and Fenwick will regroup. Not a lot of whistles, David, but not a lot of high-scoring danger, high-danger opportunities for either team.
No, Dylan, it's like a game of pinball almost.
Both teams getting their footing. Again, we mentioned it's a busy weekend for the Titans, but also the SHL, as the Titans have GBN tomorrow night. That one's at home, and then Nutria Green for the second time this week. Here's a shot, just getting enough of that one, Thomas Preston, as it rebounds down to the far side. Now Blake Hoffer, the recipient of a pass in neutral ice. Hoffer down the left wing side. Put on the brakes, then backhanded up high, but that's taken away by Tantero. He will flip it out. And Will Fagan out to Pajurski. Still no whistles yet, David, here in this one. Out to neutral ice. Here comes Fenwick. They might have a 2-on-1. It's Bastido. Gets it to Vajuk. Breakaway. Shoots. Big save made by Preston. He'll hang on for a whistle with the glove.
Yeah, Dylan. And finally, our first real bit of action there as Fenwick goes on a 2-on-1. A lot of time and space there, but Preston comes up with the big save. We're going to get a view from the behind the net cam as we're going to take a look at Preston's save once again.
I mean, it was a breakaway for Vajuk, but didn't have that separation between him and a couple of white sweaters on his tail, so had to take a quick shot. Couldn't get too creative with it, and Preston, the freshman, makes the save. Shots on goal here early on, 1-0 for the Friars. That was the first shot, according to our official shot counter, Brad Cesario, in charge of the scoreboard in the top left corner of your screen tonight. Here's a shot by Pat. That one tipped wide. It goes down for Jonathan Cesario.
And Dylan, the other thing to note for both goaltenders, Alessi and Thomas Preston, is it's really dim on both sides of the ice. There's a slanted ice.
Now here comes Sokol meanwhile. Got it to Surma. He shoots. And a big save made by Alessi. Impressive one on the other end as well.
Well, Dylan, we'll get back to that point. Oh, my bad. I keep mixing up my left and right here, but we'll get back to that point on the lights.
You can even see the shadow on this replay.
You can, and Surma with a nice shot there is not able to beat Alessi, as Alessi, pretty solid goaltender for Fenwick, although it doesn't show on paper. He's been a starter for a few years for Fenwick, so definitely someone that they can rely on, even though it doesn't show that on paper. But one of the reasons that Fenwick's in a fair amount of these games.
Manchin gets it down, but McPherson, nice wheels to grab the puck below the goal line. And Dylan Lytell will backhand this one out to the neutral zone.
So Dylan, back to what I was saying about the...
Well, now here comes Boris, right side, tried to center for Lytell, that didn't work. Evan Bonnell instead takes a shot, save, rebound, Boris trying to hack it home, he could not. Cole Alessi holding his ground there.
Well, we'll get to it eventually, Dylan. But that shot by Bonnell actually hits Boris, just stunned by that, sees the puck right in front of him and takes a whack at it, not able to get it past Alessi. As here's a good replay of that, and right in the face of Boris. Thankfully he's okay for the Titans, but fortunately for him, not able to get the puck in the back of that. A little bit of friendly fire there.
Glenbrook South cannot really afford too many more injuries. They're already without Asher Vanderplug long term. Jim Philbin rolling with 5 defensemen as it stands. They didn't have Zach Boris for that Jamestown tournament with a lower body injury, but he's back in the lineup. Here's a shot, nice kick save made by Preston with the left one, as Pap will try and get it back deep. Ryan Mulvey, the captain. He's been putting the puck in the back of the net lately. Ryan Mulvey splitting the defenders, couldn't get around a second man. That was James Pap, and Fenwick will regroup. Pap out, tipped by Pisano, and Ryan Mulvey will get down to it in his own zone. Jonah Weiss couldn't get that one outside of the zone cleanly, so instead it's taken by Lotito. To the near side, Zorovich out to neutral ice, tipped ahead by Schmidt. It goes down below the line, Schmidt to it. Got it back up high, right point, past Zorovich. Hoffer chasing after it. Titans looking to chip this one ahead. First line out. Pajurski goes to the far side. Hoffer gets to it, hacks it into the zone with one hand on his stick. Blake Hoffer down below the goal line, puts on the brakes. Threw it up high, Aiden Weller with a shot, and that one just passed the goaltender on a deflection off the backboards and eventually covered by Alessi.
Yeah, Dylan, I want to take a look at that replay, but from behind the net as it took a bounce either off of 1 or 2 players, and here's our best look of it. Or that just straight up missed the net, didn't take a bounce off anything, but Alessi
looks like it
did not
hit someone. Just from my view.
Well, I might be wrong on that, but either way, Alessi did not see that. So if that puck was on net, that would have gone in the back of the net.
Dylan Ward, David Ventura. Good to have the Double Ds back here in the broadcast booth on the South Hockey Network. As many of you do know, but many of you probably don't, David always comes in and does just about every game during his winter break from college at Miami of Ohio. Graduate of Glenbrook South, played on the varsity team his senior year, 2021-2022. As David, you were part of the last time the Titans played here at this rink in any competition, back when OPRF was in the league. Fenwick shares this and the Edge as their 2 home rinks here in SHL play. And over the last few years, for whatever reason, the Titans just always seem to play the Friars at the Edge. So making their first appearance here at this rink in quite some time. Here's a centering pass. Paps just rolls off of his stick. A beautiful facility in spite of a long drive here in Oak Park, Ridgeland Commons.
And Dylan, the staff was very friendly to us when we were setting up our whole video production. Gerard's a big fan of that, I know.
Had to make sure we had IDs to get in. That's
right.
Another thing. As this one is offsides by the Titans. And we will get a whistle just about exactly halfway through period number 1. Still waiting for our first goal here in Oak Park.
Yeah, Dylan, and we can finally get back to my point on the shadows by both goalies. Is center ice.
You can really see it.
You can really see it with the goal cams. And no, ladies and gentlemen, that is not, you know, oh, poor camera placement or whatever you want to call it. That's just the lighting of this rink. So makes it definitely makes it difficult for the goalies, as center ice is pretty bright, as you can see on the cameras, but pretty dark once you get to the goaltender's end.
Here's Paps with a shot. That one saved by Preston. As trying to figure out, maybe you could see on your screen, and maybe if Gerard hears us at the next whistle, he can show you guys, but basically right above the goaltenders and about maybe 20, 30 feet out, it's just a really low ceiling with drywall on it.
There's a ton of puck marks, and
yeah,
Definitely an interesting design.
Mulvey's shot gets blocked in close. It comes out to the neutral zone. Weller will dump this in. Zorovic got to it behind his own goal line. 7.5 to go in the first. Who will strike first? And David, also, who will get the first penalty? We forgot to play our game that we always do when we're on broadcast together, and luckily there has been no penalty. So why don't you get thinking about that, and we'll submit our answers at the next whistle.
You know, we didn't forget, Dylan. I just knew that there wasn't going to be a penalty
until now.
Until the second period.
Well, here's Bonnell keeping it in. Got it to Frank Surma with a shot. Save made. Rebound cleared out of there by the Friars. All the way down it goes for an icing. And we get a whistle with 7:05. So what say you, David?
Oh, my goodness. You know, very good question.
All right, well, if you're not ready, I will go ahead and say.
Oh, I got a good one.
All right, let's hear it.
Pasternak.
Okay, what's the penalty?
Cross-checking.
Pasternak cross-checking. So I think the way we did it, David, is you get. Is this one saved?
And my sole reason for him is just the last name.
Yeah, Pasternak.
That's a cool last name.
Of course, David Pasternak of the Boston Bruins. So what do? You get 1 point if you get one thing right.
So you get 1 point if you get the player right. You get 1 point if you get the penalty right.
And you get 3 points if you get both, right?
3 points if you get both.
Okay, so you say cross-checking,
yes.
Pasternak.
And Gerard is taking the winner out for a steak dinner.
That's right. And if one of our subscribers back at home gets it right too, then Brody Bro will be out of luck. And all of the cleaning of the gutters and lawn work, candlelight dinner as well, will be transferred to whoever gets it right in the chat. So don't be shy, folks. Use our chat. And you have to subscribe to use the chat. Make sure you also subscribe for all enhanced replay features here on the South Hockey Network.
And actually, Gerard wanted me to watch the chat, but I got signed out. So I'm going to have to get him to sign me back in. I don't even know that happened.
Well, that's a good point. Anyway, before we get back to the play calling, I am going to go ahead and say Alex Pisano, number 15 in black. And I'll say, let's say roughing. I feel like that gets called a lot. So we have our locks locked in. And
hold up, Dylan. I got to get past these ads so I can see the chat here.
That's all right. We'll talk about it at the whistle, as we haven't done the play-by-play here in a while. But no goals to show for it. Ben Stevens will get around one. Stevens lifting this one high in the air. Can't get it past one man as he gloved it down. Now Bastido. There's my pick. No, pardon me. I have Pisano. As now this one sent into the Titan zone. Ryan Mulvey will retreat and play it to the near side for Will Fagan. Vegas keeps it in neutral ice for the Friars, but Pajurski goes far side. Stevens chasing after it. He'll take it back into his own zone. Dekes a man, and one of the Fenwick players runs into the boards as a result. What a centering pass. Pajurski couldn't hang on to that one from Blake Hoffer as it comes out through neutral ice.
Yeah, and that was a good stick in front by White to make sure that Pajurski didn't have an opportunity on that.
You know, we had a delayed offsides. I thought for a minute it was a penalty because we've been in Jamestown with only 2 officials. But now that we are back home, here's Pajurski with a shot. That one saved, and the net comes off. I got to remember to look for the orange stripe.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that last opportunity just before that net comes off. But finally some good puck movement by the Titans as Hoffer gets that over, and it finds Pajurski. Unfortunately, he's not able to bury that past Alessi as that puck kind of pinballed around a little bit before it made its way to Pajurski, hitting off the skate of Pap. But thankfully for the Fenwick Friars, the puck did not find its way in the back of the net.
Fenwick in their last game, their first win this season in which they didn't score first. Their record when they score first, 4-2-0. York had a 2-0 lead after the first period before Fenwick came back to win that one in a shootout. And the Friars' current record, 5-15-0. Only 10 points, sitting last place in SHL play. But, David, it's not like they're getting blown out every game like Barrington was many moons ago. They're in a lot of games. They're actually out shooting their opponents a handful of times in these losses, but just not getting the 2 points night in and night out. And in this league, every single point matters if you want to be one of those 8 teams in the playoffs.
It does, and obviously for Fenwick, a lot better of a season this year. And from a player's perspective, it's a game you come into with, okay, this is not an easy win. You still got to come to play, and as it shows, still a 0-0 game, and Fenwick's got 5 wins on the year, a lot more than they had last year. So again, like I said, Dylan, there's no game in the SHL where you can say, I don't really have to come to play. You got to show up every game.
This one just goes wide of Preston's net. Behind the goal line now, Ryan Mulvey will take it, play it out to Adam Sokol with a nice pass. Here comes Sokol over the line between the legs of one, looking to get to his puck, but lost it as it's taken by Pasternak. Sent right back down to the near side corner. Someone lost some piece of equipment. That might be a net guard, David.
Oh, it definitely is a net guard, Dylan. They've been cracking down on that and still see players without net guards.
Cole Lessie will keep play moving. Nearly was a mistake as Adam Sokol crashed the net. As now it's touched by a high stick of Sokol. That'll stop play. No penalty. 3:16 to go in the first. Shots on goal, 6-3 for the Titans. 0-0 game. As we've got some people in the chat, KG, Evil Benji Pajerski is my pick to get first penalty, tripping. Well, okay, I don't know about that.
And just so you know, Dylan, our game is the first Fenwick penalty.
It's true. It's true. That's very true. So that guess is ineligible.
But no, it's not. The people in the chat,
they can say Titans.
They have to guess the first penalty of the game, no matter what team it is.
Right. Otherwise,
so our job's a little easier, but
yeah.
You know, they have a little something more in the line.
Yeah.
We have a steak dinner. You know,
yes.
they got to clean gutters, right?
So we'll actually have to get some standings going. As David, you'll be in the booth with me here long term, as who gets the points from these wins, and we also got to make sure Gerard gives his pick every night. What a move by Boris around a defender, takes a shot. He just couldn't get that one by. Getting a piece of it was Cole Alessi. Zach Boris hunting for his second SHL goal and 6th this season.
Yeah, Dylan, and really good play there by Boris. He had the speed there on Pap, got by him, but unfortunately, Pap gets a late stick in there, distracts him a little bit from that shot, and Boris is not able to put that one on net. As you can see right there, Pap gets a little stick lift. Boris gets control back of that puck, but unfortunately for Boris, he's not able to get that puck on net.
I think the skill progression of Zach Boris as the season has moved along has been something that's been fun to watch. Seeing a little bit more ice time these days from head coach Jim Philbin, as well as he is playing in his second game back from a 5-game injury that kept him out of action in Jamestown. Here's a shot by Weller, screen goalie, but that one never found the net. Now this one's played off the near boards and out, all the way down for an icing. Stopping the play with 2:25 to go in the first. Still 0-0 here in Oak Park.
Yeah, Dylan, and the Titans got to find a way to bury the puck. They've had a few opportunities, and on those opportunities that they've had, they've missed the net on about half of them. So if they could get the puck on net, it's obviously a greater chance of finding the back of the net. Fenwick's still having a tough time connecting on passes, so if that stays for Fenwick, you got to figure the Titans are going to find the back of the net a lot quicker than Fenwick is.
Well, with a record of 5-15, you would expect a lot of these games to kind of be over after the first period, but no, Fenwick sticks around in a lot of games, David. As a matter of fact, in 11 of their 20 coming in, which is more than half, they are either in the lead or tied after the first period. So we'll see if they can hang on to this tie, or if the Titans can get one here before we head to the second, or maybe even Fenwick, if the Titans aren't careful. Last season, the Titans and Friars played, and it was 2-0 Fenwick before the Titans came back for a 6-2 win.
Yeah, Dylan, and the last thing you want to do, especially in an SHL game, is dig yourself in a hole, and then you got to find your way to dig yourself out of it, because believe me, that is not fun. So the Titans need to make sure they don't fall in that hole in this one.
2 minutes left here on this Friday night, here in the first period. Titans and Friars, long pass by Stevens, finds Hoffer. Blake Hoffer trying to center that one for Pajerski. It didn't work out, and he'll lose the puck. Here comes Vegas for the Friars. Vegas over the line, left wing side. As now it goes down below the goal line, Vegas takes a hit from Luke Fagan, Pajurski now out to Stevens. Ben Stevens around Pasternak. Stevens can't get by Pap, then on the rebound, Pajurski swoops in there, gets it to the near side for Weller with a shot. That one went behind the net. Now Blake Hoffer trying to tap this one home from below the goal line. Did not work out. As Aiden Weller, we see him a lot more comfortable with the shot. He's only got 1 goal in SHL play, David, but scored 2 goals and had 2 assists in Jamestown from some nice shots from up high. So we've already seen him in the new Trier game, and now tonight, a little less shy to take those riskers.
Yeah, Dylan, and that's a theme you see throughout the Titans defense, a lot more offensive-minded than some of the other teams in the SHL, and that could be a benefit, but that also could come back to bite you if you're not careful with it, but that hasn't been a problem for the Titans thus far.
And David, you're exactly right. Just about any defenseman on this team has the ability to lead a zone entry and make a good offensive play. Here's Sokol with a shot. That one held onto by Alessi. As in the overall season, there are only 2 Glenbrook South Titans yet to score a goal. That's Cole McPherson and Luke Fagan, but both of them have plenty of assists.
Yeah, Dylan, and did someone come up in the booth, but you know, we appreciate him not going in the camera's point. We just want to make sure our stuff doesn't get stolen. I got a valuable computer that I'm not using, and you know, I'd prefer not to have to buy a new one. So, want to keep a close eye out for that, especially you know, they asked for my ID when I came in here, so you never know.
40 seconds left in the first. Big hit near side by Will Fagan, drawing some attention from the spectators as he got all of William Pabst there.
Yeah, and I wonder if an elbow got up there, and you know, thankfully I hit the replay button. I'm very skilled at that now, Dylan, as I was telling Luke when I did the New Trier Blue game with him. But hopefully we could see. I think Gerard was zoomed in pretty close on that one, so we'll take a look at it at a whistle.
Yeah, we're actually way higher up than your camera angle view. Here's Feet with a shot. That one's gobbled up by Preston, stopping the play with 8 seconds.
All right, well, let's see there, because that save by Preston, pretty ordinary save there right in the chest, but hopefully this is the hit of the replay, and yeah, he unfortunately
I know Will's gonna love that look.
It does look like Fagan did get an elbow in there a little bit, so I think we could show that again.
One more time here.
Yeah, one more time. As Fagan might have got an elbow up, but nevertheless, no call on that one as you see it just a little bit.
8 seconds left. Titans win the D-zone draw. Play it to the far side. Ben Stevens, Titans not interested in risking anything here as the clock expires. And period number 1 comes to a close. 17 minutes in the books. 0 goals for each team as the Titans lead shots on goal 8-4 heading into period number 2.
Yeah, Dylan, and the Titans got to continue what they have so far. The last 5 minutes, they found a little bit of momentum, and obviously that hit there by Fagan's going to also drive that up as well. Again, now they just got to find a way to put the puck in the back of the net when you have a guy like Thomas Preston who you can rely on and you're not worried when a shot hit is taken against you. It's the exact position you want to be in.
Dylan Ward here on the call with you. David Ventura alongside me. Gerard Boris, our technical engineer, and Brad Cesario, chief scoreboard operator. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, David, a busy night in the Scholastic Hockey League. How about Carmel and Glenbrook North tied 2-2 in the second period, so we'll keep a close eye on that one. That started about an hour earlier than this game. Also starting at the same time, York leading 1-0 with a goal in the second period over the Stevenson Patriots. New Trier and St. Viator tied 1-1 in the second period, and this game tied 0-0. So 3 SHL games going on right now. They're all past the first period, and 3 out of 4 are tied up, and that's exactly what just about any coach in this league, you can quote him saying at some point during his tenure. Any team can beat any team on any given night in this league. It doesn't matter if it's first place versus last place in the standings. You cannot take any period lightly in the Scholastic Hockey League.
That's right, Dylan, and obviously we'll keep you guys updated with the scores and stuff like that, and obviously we'll see the outcome of this game too against a team like Fenwick, which actually, Dylan, Fenwick is a team where my favorite broadcasting memory comes from. It was me and you on the SHL broadcast with Rudy Hodgins. Max was taking Jimmy the Wiz Olsen's spot, and Lake Forest was blowing out Fenwick pretty bad.
The
and
edge.
The Fenwick parents come out and Give us some Vienna beef or some Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah, that was an absolute classic, David. You refreshed my memory on that. That was, and then they gave me some candy that tasted like Jack Daniels. I was wondering what the heck's going on, but seriously, those Fenwick parents, I don't know if any of them are still around that were a part of that, but or maybe watching. That was a good memory. As we are underway in the second period, the teams have switched sides, so now the benches are on each team's attacking half. Period of the long change, as it's well known. Titans go from left to right on your screen in white jerseys. Fenwick in black. Now here come the Titans. Blake Hoffer over the line, left wing side. Let's go of a shot. Getting that one is Cole Alessi as he deflects it into the corner.
So Dylan, there's a question for you.
Who got the personal phone call from Dylan Ward for being the 1,000th subscriber? Well, that is a good question. Our 1,000th subscriber was Brody Bro, and listen to this, David. As I was giving him a shout out, it's a friend of Joe Hoffer's. Apparently he knows my Uncle Mike too, and my late Uncle Jerry. And my Uncle Mike sent in our Maher group chat a video of me shouting him out and said that this is hilarious. And I actually had no idea that I knew this man. So that was a funny, well, actually, I don't know. I should say that my family knows him. So I'll tell you, taking him out for a candlelight dinner will be slightly less awkward than it would have been if he was a stranger. But I still don't know how that one's going to go down. Now Surma, what a move around a couple defenders while Falling tries to get a shot away. That was reminiscent of Evan Bonnell's goal in Jamestown. The only difference is Surma could not finish that one. Now a battle for the puck near side. Cesario playing it up to Luke Fagan, tapping it back down for Cesario. Swooping in there, Surma. Another couple of nice moves as Alessi wanted to save it, or freeze it, I should say. He could not. And we'll keep playing here at Paul Harubi. Here's Pabst spinning around Weller. Got it back to his forehand. Pressure from Luke Fagan as he pins him up the boards. Nice play as that let the puck come free. A pass out to Surma. Tried to get it to Dylan Lytell as the first line heads off. Now Zach Boris getting this one ahead. Backhander on net. Alessi will make the save. And Boris fighting off a couple of attacks there in the corner after he got into it with the goaltender a little bit.
Yeah, Boris takes a little whack at Alessi there. Oh, of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Well, let's not get my I just hit the replay so we could get the altercations after, because I knew that was coming.
Well, is this the first replay right here?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is from the Surma play.
Gotcha. All right, well, some pushing and shoving, but David, no penalties yet. No goals yet. It's been an easy night for the official scorekeeper.
It has, and thankfully they're playing music too.
Mm-hmm.
Although that does hurt us up here in the booth in terms of profit, but.
That's true. It's true. Now that we're at 1,000 subscribers.
See, look at him. He's smiling.
Now that we have 1,000 subscribers, we can actually start making money on these videos.
Yeah, so that means you need to stop playing music, right?
Yeah. Here's Lytell, high slot, shoots and scores! Dylan Lytell buries that one for his third SHL goal of the season, and it breaks the ice. The Titans open the scoring here in Oak Park.
Yeah, and that's another one where just a shot on net, and that one finds a way past Alessi.
Wrong replay.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm almost a pro. As that one finally finds its way past Alessi, and really good shot there by Lytell. There's a little bit of a screen in front, hence why Alessi had a little bit of a difficult time with it. It's actually screened by his own guy. Is screened by James Papp. One of the reasons he wasn't able to see that, but Dylan, nevertheless, Titans find their way 1-0.
So Zach Boris should get a secondary assist on that one. It'll be his 4th point in SHL play this season and 11th overall on the year. We'll have to take another look at that, who that right defenseman was who got it to Dylan Lytell.
Well, Dylan, you know, Sam Schwartz is very happy that all Glenbrook South hockey games have accurate game sheet.
That's true.
Points.
As if you're a coach or parent of any other team watching this right now, it's very easy to get stat corrections into the SHL. We do it here at Glenbrook South Hockey for every game. As long as you have the footage, you can send it to the league, to Sam Schwartz, and he will make that correction for you. Here's Blake Hoffer trying to get ahead of one defender. That was Sveit. He could not. So because there's film for every Glenbrook South game, that looked kind of close to offsides, but we'll play on. Every single game for Glenbrook South has accurate goals and assists. Now here comes Benji Pajurski, 2-on-1. He's got Hoffer to his right. Pajurski got it to Blake. He shoots and he scores! Blake Hoffer points to the net after he deposited it past Alessi, and the Titans quickly double up 2-0.
Yeah, get another look at this one here as Pajurski, you just knew he was going to move that over to Hoffer, and Hoffer gets it. Alessi actually loses a little bit of we're not a pro yet. Now you're gonna get it behind the net replay.
There you go.
That's also the wrong one. Oh no, that's the right one.
Oh, there. Oh, well, I'm sorry. We'll show it real quick.
We're getting there.
They're dropping the puck at center ice, but we'll get back to your live cam in just a moment.
Yes.
Nice shot placement.
Alessi loses a little bit of track of where the net is, but Hoffer's able to bury that. And you know what, Dylan? It's so warm up here. I think that's what's distracting me.
Yes, it is really warmer, right on top of some heaters, as this one will go out of play. So, David, with that goal, Blake Hoffer now has 12 goals, 14 assists in SHL play. Or I'm sorry, 14 goals and 11 assists in SHL play. He has just tied Jackson Steinlaw for the Scholastic Hockey League team leader in points. And when you look at the games played column, Steinlaw with 19, Hoffer with 15. So he is in control.
And what's the game played difference
4
on that? 4.
So he is in control in terms of the points per game in the SHL, as this one shot wide by Pajurski. So the junior for the Titans, very reminiscent of Jason Ban, you know, left-handed pitcher, hockey as kind of a secondary sport, as this shot by Mulvey flies high. Already committed to University of Illinois, as there's a big hit there by Will Fagan, his second. Nice collision so far this evening. Now Boris, Evan Bonnell, this line who just scored the Titans' first goal out there. Sent down the other way, and far enough for an icing against Fenwick. 12-11 to go in the second period.
Yeah, Dylan, and the Titans are taking advantage of Fenwick Friars staring directly at the ice here as we're getting another look at the hit by Fagan. As you can see, Fenwick player with his head down, and Fagan takes advantage of that. But Dylan, you got another suggestion.
Brody should pay for the dinner. Jeffrey Hoopy. All right.
I think it's Hoop.
I know it's Hoopy.
Oh, it is?
Yes. I think my sister used to be friends with someone in that family or something.
Oh.
Not 100% sure.
Well, you know what, Dylan? Neither am I. So.
Under 12 to go in period number 2. It was 0-0 for a long time, but 2 quick ones scored by the Titans with 14:29 to go in the second and 13:11 to go. So, David, that is 2 goals for Glenbrook South in 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Yeah, that's what they needed, Dylan. I know you were looking down at a note there, but the Titans throw the puck in deep. And because one of their players was offsides, it's going to go all the way down. It's going to be defensive zone draw for the Titans.
All right, it'll be at the circle to Thomas Preston's left. The Sokol line out, featuring Cesario and Surma as well. Fenwick takes control of the face-off. Pap sends it up. Gattoni takes a shot, looking for a deflection. Couldn't find it in the slot. Now Paps. Adam Sokol forces it out. Frank Surma plays it off the far boards. He'll look to catch up to the puck, but not before it's caught up to by Fenwick. Now down low to the near side. Cesario up into the near corner, being pressured by Sveit. Surma races in there. Frank Surma off the near boards up to Ryan Mulvey with a shot. That one never found the net. Rebound grab by Frank Surma. Played down low once again. Ref right in the way. Loose puck found by Cesario. Off the near boards and up high, Ryan Mulvey. Long reach on the stick, as he'll now send it down to Cesario. At least that's his intended target. Another board battle here on the near side. Sokol goes across, taken away by Fenwick as they'll play it out to the neutral zone. Adam Sokol down to Surma. Frank Surma up to Cesario, trying to kick it to his stick. That didn't work out. Dylan Lytle and Blake Hoffer, your 2-goal scorers. Here's Will Fagan with a shot. That one blocked by Sveit. As they can't play it out, Fagan tried to get it back deep, but now out. Latito just past him. He would have had Mulvey to beat. He catches up to his puck. Mulvey knocks him down, and the loose one grabbed by Will Fagan, or so he thought. Latito got back up in time to make a play to make that a little hard.
And Dylan, on the offensive zone side of things for the Titans.
Centering pass, Latito with a shot save. Rebound, they score. As it appears to be Christian White getting that backhander on the second or third look. And Fenwick scrapes one back. The lead is 2-1 for the Titans.
Dylan, I guess I jumped a little too early to offensive zone side of things for the Titans, but a little bit of puck luck there for the Friars as Preston's not able to find it, and neither is one of the Titans defenders, and that puck's just lying right out in front as we get a good look here from behind the net.
Oh, not a backhander, Christian White.
Yeah, as White's able to find the puck, the only one on the ice who knew where that puck was, and that's going to treat him well as he makes this a 2-1 game, cutting the Titans' lead down to 1.
Well, David, Christian White came into this game with a goal and an assist. That's all in SHL play so far on the season. Here's one given up. Benji Pajurski, partial chance, takes a shot. Gobbled up by Alessi, but David, he did get the shootout winner in Fenwick's most recent league game against the York Dukes.
Yeah, Dylan, and that's what you want to see out of the players, especially players who you may not be calling your top guys, is you want to see them getting hot later. You can't just rely on 2 lines. You want to have 3-4 lines, especially as you head down the stretch of the season, and you never know what could happen. An injury, whether it's an SHL game or a non-SHL game, and you need to find guys that you can rely on.
Here's Ben Stevens. Now out to Hoffer. Blake Hoffer over the line, right wing side. Puts on the brakes, goes across, wide open. Pajurski, now Luke Fagan right in front. Could not tip that one on net. Pajurski instead will fire that one wide. As the sophomore defenseman, Luke Fagan, nearly with his first career Glenbrook South goal.
Yeah, Dylan, that's 2 chances there by the Titans. They had 2 really good looks, and we're going to take a look here at that chance there by Fagan, but the Titans unable to connect twice. They connect on passing plays, but not able to hit the net, as you can see here as the puck goes back to Fagan, and he's not able to get all of that.
So close.
Take another look behind the net as see how far wide that shot ended up. A good look by Stevens, gets that to Fagan, and yeah, missed it by about a foot 2 or so, and it's going to keep this game 2-1.
Luke Fagan, I don't have it right in front of me, David, but on the overall season, so all games played, I think he's got 14 assists, but still waiting for his first goal for the defenseman. This one nearly trickles off a skate right in front and past Preston, but crisis averted for the Titans. Now right in front, Bastido trying to hack it home. Now Vegas scores! Another rebound, and swooping in there to fire it by Aristides Vegas with his 3rd goal of SHL play, and halfway through regulation, David, we're tied up.
Yeah, and that's a quick way for this game to become 2-2, as I think from the viewer's perspective, it's going to be a lot better to look at this one from behind the net, but again, the Titans unable to get control of the puck, and of course I clicked the wrong one. How about that? Now I can just do this. Yes. There we go.
There you go.
Right.
You're learning.
We are.
David Ventura on replay. Usually it's me doing play-by-play and the replay when I'm solo, David. So
and you still find a way to do a better job than me. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, Dylan is on replay duty today, so all the mistakes. That is
sure.
Dylan Ward. So just keep a mental note of that when you watch back this broadcast.
I will say, David, if you go back to the first game of the season, back in the preseason invitational, and watch me on the replay, It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed, just trying to watching myself trying to figure it out for the first time. It did take me a while to get acclimated, but it now comes easy to me. So David, since you're not doing play-by-play and you can actually focus a tad bit more on the replay, it won't take you long to be a natural at it.
No, it's also, you know, I don't really, I mean, it's pretty hot up here, Dylan. I don't know about you, but
yeah.
I'm thinking about taking my jacket off once the second period hits. And by the way, Dylan, the other thing we haven't had yet is a penalty.
That's right. No
and how am I supposed to get my steak dinner if there's no penalty?
And that's a good point.
Because I know I'm winning this, just so you know.
Yeah, well, we're both rooting for us to win, and Gerard's rooting for us both to lose.
We are. Now, Gerard, can you hear us down there? Can you hear us? So we're going to need a penalty prediction out of you.
It's true. Just give us a number.
Give us a number on the other team, and then give us a sign.
Yeah. Number 7. Okay, Blake Zorovich. Oh, wait, 50. Was he trying to do 52?
He's pointing at him.
27.
27.
Okay.
No, we still don't have it. 17. Yeah. Hey, 17. Look at me, Dylan.
So that is Giovanni Senna. He was actually one of the guests me and Luke had on our podcast.
Well, listen, with the amount of playing time he gets, that might be a good pick.
Yeah. And Gerard, we're also at the whistle. If you can, we're going to need a penalty call. So if you can give us a signal. Looks like this will be a whistle right here. David says tripping, or what did you say? Cross-checking?
No,
I said roughing.
I don't know. I said cross-checking.
So, Gerard, what do you got? You got 17, Giovanni Senna.
We need a sign from you. He's pondering, ladies and gentlemen. He's actually, just so you folks at home know.
Interference.
But just so you folks at home know, Gerard is sitting down.
It's true.
Doing camera. That is the dedication you folks at home get. I actually helped him set up the goalie cams today. Well, that is no light job.
You can see you've got a pretty low angle here today for this broadcast. As here at Paul Hruby Ice Arena, there's netting at a lot of rinks, David, but the black netting here, and Gerard, you can maybe show a little bit of it, is some of the worst in the SHL. And if our camera was any higher, you'd be watching most of the game through this black netting. So Gerard, absolutely dialed in, currently wedged up against a big pillar, filming the game while seated.
Well, Dylan, I think the other reason he's not up. I think the other reason he's not up here is because we have these pillars blocking our view.
That's another point. Another good point, David, as we mentioned. If we try to see something going on in that near side corner down in Titan territory, for you it's a little easier, David. But for me, I'm leaning almost all the way over this railing. Here's Pajurski with a shot. Nice release, but a save by Alessi. He hangs on for another whistle.
Dylan, you wanted to know something interesting on that play, on that shot there by Pajurski, is Alessi reaches all the way over across his body with his glove, as opposed to using his blocker.
We'll get a good look on the goal cam. What David's talking about.
You know, maybe all the way is a little bit of a stretch, but he still uses his glove there, and I think the blocker is the right play. Right in his chest.
What you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
But Alessi is one of those goalies in the SHL where he's really, really, really strong with that glove.
What a pass. Weller down to Stevens. Couldn't settle it down now right in front. Tipped by Hoffer. Pajurski will now go up high to Ryan Mulvey. Lets one fly. Sveit makes the block. It goes to Hoffer. He throws it in front. They can't hack it in. 2-2 your score. The Titans had a 2-0 lead. Fenwick came back to tie it up. As we remember, David, York had a 2-0 lead against the Friars in their last game. Here's Tantero splitting ahead of one, centered it. But right there is the captain to knock it out of harm's way. York had a 2-0 lead over these same Fenwick Friars before Fenwick came back for a 4-3 shootout win, as they're looking to make it 2 consecutive wins. And David, what would be their first 2-game winning streak in SHL play this season?
That would be a huge boost of confidence if they can pull that off.
Here's a shot. Vegas just high of the net. As now it comes down to the near side corner, behind the net, thrown in front. Grabbed safely, but we get a whistle.
That's off, Dylan, and I want to take a look at that replay from that shot that Fenwick had behind the net. I'm more of a behind the net fan. As you can see here, that shot did take a deflection, and I'm not sure off of who. off of Weller's stick. The reason that one misses the net, and less of a scare for the Titans, especially when a defenseman's able to get a stick on it, and it does end up missing the net like that happened there with the stick of Weller.
5:33 to go before the Zamboni. Fenwick wins this faceoff back up high to the right point. We forgot to mention too, but also out of the lineup tonight for Jim Philbin is Mitchell Adams. Of course, he was the Varsity 2 call-up who actually scored his one and only goal at the Varsity 1 level against this Fenwick team at Glenview Ice Center. This will go all the way down for icing, but David, with Mitchell Adams playing in both Varsity 1 and Varsity 2 games, Varsity 1 obviously has a huge stretch on Saturday and Sunday, and Varsity 2 had a game on Thursday night, so Mitchell Adams sat out against New Trier and for this game against Fenwick, so that he doesn't have to play 5 games in 5 nights, and he'll be well rested for those big ones against those
Dylan, I think
leaders.
This is a question for you, but
yeah,
isn't there a max amount of games he can play before he gets kicked off that Varsity 2 roster? Because I got to imagine that plays a part in that.
You know what, David? I'm not going to lie.
Because
I actually hadn't considered that.
I think that happened with Raderman, the GBN goalie, where he was getting called up. I know it happened to someone back when I was playing, and I think there's a cutoff because once you play, I believe, 11 games. The only reason I'm saying I believe is because typically, you know, instead of looking it up on the SHL website, I just ask Dylan because he's my answer key.
Well,
but I do think that there's a cutoff, and I think it's 11 games if I'm not mistaken, and I gotta imagine that's part of it.
Is it 9 up, no down rule applies?
That's got to be
what it is.
Yeah, 9. So I was so close.
9 games played. Okay, that is very interesting to note, as Mitchell Adams currently with 5 games played at the Varsity 1 level, and with Asher Vanderplug not expected back till at least January, and that's being hopeful. It would be nice to have Mitchell Adams as a part of this Varsity 1 squad long term. He is the captain of Varsity 2 and their leading scorer, so we'll have to see what kind of decision is made between the Philbins. As David, that's a very good point. I actually hadn't thought about that.
You know, Dylan, I do provide some value.
That's right. Well, David, of course, is a former hockey player, and you scored a pair of goals in the alumni game, David, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you gave me credit for a hat trick.
I did.
That's because I guess I scored a hat trick, right?
Yeah, I think your brother might have scored, or you got an assist on one or something. But either way, I have never played hockey, right? Yeah. So I fell in love with hockey when the Blackhawks had their dynasty, and broadcasting was my way in because, as all of you watching at home know, if you don't learn when you're like 2 years old, you're going to be out of luck at a competitive level.
Well, that's not true. I started when I was like 8.
Well, okay, then not 15 is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so it's always good to have not only a color commentator in general, but a guy like David who's actually played hockey before adds that extra value and knowledge that I don't have all the time. And we see that all the time, like on Wednesday night with Luke. He was a former hockey player, captain of the Chiefs in the combined division. As now Vegas takes it away. Fenwick coming up here, 2-on-1. Lots of speed here for White, one of the goal scorers for the Friars, but Van's pinned up against the boards. Fenwick gets it back. Here's a shot on Preston. He makes the save. Ryan Mulvey out to Hoffer, tipping it ahead Ben Stevens, but Christian White will hang on to it. Pressure from behind by Hoffer. Dylan, now up to Pajurski. Go ahead.
Dylan, how about that stick there by Mulvey on that 2-on-1 to separate that play?
Yes.
Made it seem easy, too. Made it seem like it was no problem, no worry for the Titans.
Ryan Mulvey, one of the best players on this team, doesn't have all the point totals, but as a defenseman, sometimes you don't need to. Is the captain of this team here in his junior year. And I think well-deserved successor to Zach Freemuth. Now up high, Will Fagan. Tipped down below the line. Pajurski right in front. Cesario couldn't get a forehand on it. Mulvey just can't keep this one in the zone, as Will Fagan will fire it in. Goes off the end boards and bounces to the near side where it's grabbed by the Friars. They can't clear it out past Mulvey. Now down to Surma. Frank Surma, now Adam Sokol. High slot Cesario. Another board battle. Surma wins the loose one. Frank Surma taken away by Fenwick. And Zorovic will get it out to White. He's taken down by Will Fagan, but up comes Pabst. Pabst will take a shot. Blocker save made by Preston as he steers it to the near side. Will Fagan out to Cesario. Now Fagan will send it into the zone. It's picked back up by Fenwick. A long stretch pass looking for Pabst, didn't connect, and it goes over a bunch of bodies as we get an icing whistle. And if you're in a wreck and need a check, David, and don't know who to call, just look at the scoreboard here. 2-2, second period, 2 minutes to go.
You know, Dylan, I thought you were going to do some ad or something.
do you get my joke?
No, I do.
2-2-2.
2-2-2, 22.
Oh, yeah, you know it. Glenn Lerner.
When you watch enough TV, right?
Yeah.
Or enough Blackhawks games.
Exactly.
Which I tell you what, actually, after that alumni game, we got tickets to the Dallas Stars up on that glass.
And how about, what was that, a 6-2 win for the Hawks? Man, they, I don't know if you caught that game last night, David, but they really made it interesting there in the third period.
You know, I don't know what's more tough to watch, you know, the Blackhawks or the Bears, in terms of you just know the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's tough. Both teams getting a new coach.
Now, although the Blackhawks have a lot more potential.
Yeah, I fully agree.
A lot more. And
well, for the Bears,
the Bears have got an ownership problem.
Well, they probably have a 0.5% chance to make the playoffs. The Blackhawks probably pretty low too, but with a lot of season left, it's probably more like 5% chance.
Well, it's okay. We knew the season wasn't going to be the best. We just,
right.
2 or 3 years will be good. But I tell you what, the Bears.
Especially you want to make the franchise attractive to Connor Bedard as well, after he's a unrestricted free agent. Get him to a little extension. Here's Frank Surma with a shot, and I believe just getting a piece of that with the glove is Alessi. As it gets steered to the corner, Titans keep possession. Surma goes down to the far side. Sokol. Adam Sokol, left side corner, now behind the net, Jonathan Cesario. To the near side, Weller. Now down to Cesario, who gets it deep. Adam Sokol picks it up. Sokol looking for a pass, will go up to Weller, who just couldn't keep it in the zone. So we get down to 48 seconds here in the second period. Ice cut looming here in Oak Park. Zorovic plays it out to the neutral zone. Ryan Mulvey gloves it back. Frank Surma picks it up. Surma goes to Sokol as he enters. 30 seconds. The Titans could really use a goal here to give themselves some momentum heading into period number 3. Here's Sokol keeping the pressure on. End of a long shift. He'll get it to Surma. Frank Surma down the right wing. It gets taken away by Pasternak and played out. Deflected, so no icing. 10 seconds left. Let's see if the Titans have time for one more rush. If you remember, they scored with less than a second left in the third period a while ago against Stevenson. Speaking of Stevenson, here's Stevens. Takes a shot. That one nearly trickled past the goaltender Alessi as time runs out. And both teams will make their way to the locker room. And David, 0-0 after one. The Titans go up 2-0 thanks to goals from Dylan Lytle and Blake Hoffer. But a quick response by the Friars as they scored 2 goals of their own, separated by 1 minute and 9 seconds to tie it up. That's where we stand heading into period number 3.
Yeah, Dylan, obviously not ideal for the Titans to go up 2 and then have this be a 2-2 game headed into the third. But again, you got a whole period left, and it's almost like you're restarting the game. There has to be another goal for this game to be over, and whichever team comes with the most heart is going to win this third period and the game.
All right, well, this is the 9th time here in game number 21. The Friars have not been trailing going into the third period. 2 of their wins this season have come when tied through 2 periods, David. But as for the Titans, they have been tied going into period number 3 on 3 occasions coming into tonight, a record of 2-0-1 when that happens. So still plenty of hockey to play here in Oak Park. 17 minutes remaining here in regulation time when we come back after the Zamboni takes care of business. Any final thoughts before we take a break, David?
No, sir.
All right. So stay right with us. We'll mute our mics, but stay right here live on the South Hockey Network. Dylan Ward and David Ventura here in the booth with you. Third period before you know it, right here on YouTube. Welcome back to the South Hockey Network, live on YouTube, live here at Paul Harubi Ice Arena. It is time for the third period, and still nothing decided yet. The Titans and Fenwick Friars tied up at 2 goals apiece. Glenbrook South goals have come from Dylan Lytle and Blake Hoffer, but then Christian White and Vegas for the Fenwick Friars answering back with 2 quick ones of their own. Dylan Ward here in the booth, Gerard Boris, our technical engineer, and Brad Cesario, our official scoreboard operator. And of course, David Ventura here to my right. Get used to David's voice if you don't know it yet, because he will be in the booth with me for pretty much every game between now and the end of January. I think you're gonna miss that one next week on Wednesday, and then maybe 1 or 2 others based on SHL Network obligations. But David, it is great to have you here tonight, and it will be great to have you with me through this stretch. As I was calling a lot of games solo there, and it's always a lot better to have a color commentator with me.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you brought Brad Cesario on there for the championship game. I told him before I had some big shoes to fill in this role. And you brought Luke Jordan on. I guess I was easily replaceable for that Wednesday game against
David, you told me you'd be able to do it, and then you backed out, and then later you said, no, actually I can do it, don't worry. And I said, sorry, man, I already got someone to fill in. As we are tracking the Glenbrook North and Carmel Catholic game, which was going to a shootout at 3-3, and it looks like Glenbrook North has just taken the shootout, so they will win the game, and Carmel will go home with 1 point. We were tracking some of the other games in the Scholastic Hockey League. Also, just concluding is York and Stevenson, and let's see what the final score of that one was. 3-0 the final score. York with the victory there as Jack Brown makes a 26-save shutout. As it's a busy weekend in the SHL. 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow, and 3 on Sunday. GBS with a game in all 3 of those slates, including tonight. So Glenbrook South, it's been a busy stretch for them as they've played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now, and David, 4 consecutive weekends, as they had the SHL Showcase, and then the O'Grady Cup tournament, and then, David, they had the Jamestown Governor's Cup, and then, oh, you're done with those tournaments over the weekend, come back to league play. Well, how do you like Fenwick on Friday, Glenbrook North on Saturday, and New Trier Green on Sunday? So it might not be a tournament, but it's that 3 games in 3 nights tournament style here, even if it's just SHL regular season.
Yeah, Dylan, and the tough part with the tournaments is the 2 games in a day. However, thankfully they don't have to do that here. And you know, like you said, right after this game, obviously the Titans are focusing on this one, but you got GBN and then you got New Trier, or you got GBN then New Trier.
Yep.
That's a tough one, especially after that recent loss to New Trier in overtime after the first time they played them on the SHL Network, which was not close, but the second time off the network on GBS hockey. Yep. A little bit more of a closer affair.
Yeah, so New Trier will look to sweep the season series against the Titans in that game, just like the Titans swept them last season. So Glenbrook South will look for some revenge on Sunday as they'll play New Trier Green on the road again, but at a different rink, North Shore Ice Arena. But like you said, David, the Titans are taking it 1 game at a time, and they've still got an entire third period here to go against Fenwick, and they built up that 2-0 lead in that second period before Fenwick came back to tie it up. So the job not done yet for the Titans as they'll look to pounce here in the third. We've switched back to our first period shooting sides. Here's Luke Fagan. Centered it, Adam Sokol, he scores! Adam Sokol takes the lead here early in the third. 1:50 in, and it's 3-2 Titans.
That is the exact start that the Titans won. Is Sokol scoring a goal is always entertaining, as you know, if you watch that game, that O'Grady tournament game where my brother and Zach Freemuth were on that game interviewing Sokol, where he broke a stick and doesn't have a backup, used someone else, but I assume bought a new stick there, gets the puck and puts it past Alessi, and Dylan, key point on that blocker side where Alessi's a little, where he's not as strong compared to that glove side. So as long as if the Titans could stay away from that glove side, they're gonna find a lot of success on that blocker side of Alessi.
Well, David, Adam Sokol had quite the successful Governor's Cup, was tied for not just the team lead, but the tournament lead in points. Here's a pass over to Lytle. He had 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. And David, he came into tonight with only 3 goals and 3 assists in the SHL season so far. So he now gets his 4th goal of league play, but he's been red hot outside of the regular season as well.
He has, Dylan. And on that 2-on-1 there by the Titans, that puck from Bunnell tries to get over to Lytle. And my pick for the Friars' first penalty, Pasternak gets a good stick in the way and breaks that one up, as you got to figure that that puck, if that does get over to Lytle, ends up in the back of the net with the amount of time and space that he has. But let's give our folks at home a little refresher of who's picking who, as we have a new, well, not a new person involved in this, but Brad Cesario is now, his guess is Svet?
Sveit. Jonathan Sveit, and he said he picked Sveit because he has the same first name as his son, and he said cross-checking just like you did, David.
That's right. And Dylan, I'm going to have to use my accounting skills after this game and figure out how many points is the winner, you know, mathematically speaking, how many points we can get to before I am gone.
That's true. So, yeah, this game will last until your last game.
That's right. And, you know, I got to open up an Excel file and figure that out there.
Track everything, right? Like we said, 1 point if you get just the player right, 1 point if you get just the call right, 3 points in your favor if you can get both of those right.
And I was thinking Fogo de Chao for the winner at Brazilian Steakhouse in Rosemont.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. Of course, Gerard's on the tab on that one.
Yeah, we're putting on the Boris tab.
Yep. I think Gerard might have taken his headset out. I'm not sure if he can hear it. Oh, no. He's got the left ear in only. That's in our blind spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, he did give us a thumbs up, so he does approve.
And, you know, that's what's great about having you in the broadcast booth, David, is I feel like you and I have a very similar sense of humor, and we have built up a good chemistry over the years. And when you're doing a game solo, there's really not much room to joke around just because it's awkward without that human-to-human interaction that you get when I have a color commentator in the booth. And David Ventura will be doing every single game, or just about every single game, from here until the end of January. I think you said the 26th you are leaving. Could be wrong on that.
Yes, the 26th.
Yep.
But I will not be at that game. That's GBS GBN on the 26th.
It's too bad.
I will be leaving in the morning, unfortunately.
Titans take the lead here in the 3rd period. They have not trailed yet in this game. They led 2-0. Before it was 2-2, and now 3-2. Thanks to this man, Adam Sokol. He'll come over the line, left wing side, center it. Looking for Hoffer, just couldn't find him. Now the puck pops high in the air. It's grabbed by the Friars. Far side, they can't clear it out. Here's a shot blocked by Pap right and close.
And Dylan, because Pap gets his body on that, that doesn't get all the way through to Alessi. And one of the Titans left alone out in front. So thankfully for the Friars, Pap's able to get a body on that. And Dylan, I say we play another game up in the booth here. A little side note, we got one of the parents watching another hockey game on the phone. Can we guess what game that is?
Let's see. Might be our game.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
It's hard to tell, as that appears to be Mr. Weiss.
You think he's watching an NHL game, or maybe another?
Again, it's hard to tell. It looks like it's probably NHL. Jason Weiss down there. He might be watching our game.
I don't think so.
We'll find out.
No, it's not, because it's in an arena.
Oh, that is. I could look at the center ice logo right there. As just missed it. I should probably look at the ice here in person, as now we've got Frank Surma back in his own end. He'll play it out as Jack Pasternak plays it to the near side for Sveit. Sveit sends it in. Aiden Weller takes it. Plays it to the near side for Surma. Frank Surma over the line, chips it in. Goaltender Alessi out of his net to play it, but he'll send it directly out. And David, is that a delay of game penalty?
Not in high school hockey.
I thought if the goaltender does it, it is.
No,
I could be wrong.
And the only reason, you know, now you got me second guessing, because I know
I could have sworn
Winger.
that happened.
I know
Yeah,
Winger
right.
was very
Winger.
active on that, and I think Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Sam Schwartz watching this?
Clearly
I want to ask
not.
him.
It's not because they're not calling it.
Well, actually, that's not the case. It's just that, you know, maybe no one knows
right.
that. And I didn't think it was a penalty, but could be wrong.
All right, this one chipped in.
Oh,
Zach
look at that.
Boris.
We have an answer, Dylan.
Weiss is probably watching Minnesota State versus Minnesota Hockey. And
Michigan State.
Gail Weiss coming in with the answer on that one.
Michigan State versus Minnesota. And you know what, Dylan? It is Friday. Friday, Saturday, the college hockey split.
Oh, yeah. This is my team I call in the NA 3HL West Bend Power. I only do their home games, but they're in action against the Wausau Cyclones tonight on the road.
Oh, they're Badgers fans. Well, I tell you one thing,
do.
Dylan, is I go to all the Miami, Ohio hockey games, and they don't win anything.
Yeah.
So, but you know, they play Denver, they play North Dakota, they play Omaha, St. Cloud State. They play good teams, but it's not close.
David, I don't know if you ever make it out to one of their ACHA teams games.
The ECHL?
No, the ACHA Miami of Ohio team, because I know Marty McCauley plays on that team.
I do. I was actually at the game where they played Kentucky because Jack Mulvey's on that team.
So did you see the delayed penalty empty net goal?
That was at Kentucky, so I did not see that.
Gotcha.
I did see it on YouTube, but
oh, so they played at each barn.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, Fenwick, you should get on their broadcasting. They have game broadcast. Here's a long stretch pass. It finds Ben Stevens. Stevens needs some help. He'll crisscross away from one. Throw it up high. Will Fagan centered it. This one bounces in. Benji Pajurski, the intended target of Will Fagan. It wasn't a clean pass, but instead of the stick, off the skate of Pajurski, and they all count the same. No kicking motion.
And Dylan, again, I think that replay is going to be the best version, but we'll give you a look at both as Titans, I would say, finally get some puck luck. They haven't gotten a ton this game, but yeah, you could see just directly off the skate of Pajurski, and no kicking motion, like you said, Dylan, and that puck finds the back of the net, and that's a tough one for Alessi to get because normally the player is going to corral the puck, take a second to shoot it, but Alessi did not have any time to interact there.
Well, cliche, probably all the way back to the radio era of broadcasting, David. They don't ask how, they ask how many, but it couldn't be more true as Benji Pajurski will get credit for his 7th SHL goal of the season, and the Titans for the second time lead by 2 as they'll hope to hang on to this one. Now Will Fagan lays this one down with a backhand, takes a hit on the near side from Pabst, but it didn't really faze him. So sophomores have some big bodies out there. Now Adam Sokol backhands this one deep. It's chased after by Pasternak as the Friars play it to the near side. Pabst out to neutral ice. Surma will try and backhand it back in, but instead Pabst will bring it over the line. Right wing side, fire a shot, save made by Preston. Rebound down below the goal line. Will Fagan takes it, plays it to the far side. Cesario racing to it. He'll try and backhand chip this one out. Can't get past Tantero as now it comes up to the left point. A shot grabbed out of midair by Will Fagan as he sends it down to his stick and plays it out looking for Surma.
Dylan, we're still waiting for our first penalty of the game.
From either team.
From either team, and not a common thing in high school hockey to be waiting on a penalty, but historically the Titans are not a team that's known for taking penalties, as either last year or the year before that they took the least amount of penalties in SHL play.
Here's Vegas down to Manchin. He shoots, or Machin I should say. Couldn't get a lot on it as he never found that goal. As David, earlier, maybe like a few weeks ago, the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers played a game that did not see a penalty for each team, as I realized after some investigation that that was the first NHL game in 3 years that didn't see a penalty either way.
Yeah, Dylan, and obviously not a common thing. And now, see, Dylan, everyone else seems to know what he's watching, but we had no idea.
Yeah, we got Mitch Adams coming in there with the answer, Jeffrey Hoopy as well. And yeah, so I guess a pretty big fan, but not big enough that I knew.
No, you know, Dylan, I was just curious, you know.
Here's a long shot from the point. That one wide of the net. Dylan Ward, David Ventura. As I will say, when you guys chat at home, it makes us really remember that we're broadcasting to all you people. As that's the one thing about broadcasting, David, is it's like public speaking, but you just don't have 100 people in front of you.
Yeah, I love talking in front of 100 people, Dylan.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Sarcasm or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would much rather do a presentation in front of a full auditorium than an exam.
This one off the near boards. Titans race ahead. That looked offsides. No call. Here's a centering pass. They score! No goal. It's waved off immediately by the official. And I'm not sure why the net didn't come off. Kicking motion is going to be your official call. It wouldn't be offsides on the no goal. David, did you cue that one up?
Oh, of course I did. They were not talking about the offsides. I think it's the kicking motion is what they saw. However, now let's take a look from behind the net. But that is the reason for the no goal. You're going to get a look behind the net here as what the official sees, in my opinion.
One more time.
Take a look at the replay again. But what the official sees, in my opinion, is that Surma?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. Surma is trying to stop his speed a little bit, so he adjusts the way his foot is, and that's what the official sees is his redirection, or he moves his foot, if that makes sense.
But you know, David,
that's the only thing I could see, though.
My understanding of the rule is you're allowed to move your foot to deflect it as long as you don't just straight up and obviously kick it.
So I think what he sees, the official saw, is him fully moving his foot, but he was just stopping or trying to slow down.
Well, the Titans...
And I'm only trying to play devil's advocate, which is not often I do that, but, you know, I'm feeling nice.
Well, the Titans already leading 4-2. We'll see if that no goal comes to bite them, as they've had some goals called off or been in the middle of controversy for the other side as well in recent memory, as that new Trier Green goal that got called off due to the net being off.
Dylan, that actually would have been the second goal back-to-back if that one counted, where that would have been just pure puck luck for the Titans. No shots or anything, just off of skates. And another one, but that one hit the glass first,
yes, it did.
So that wouldn't be a penalty anyways. But Alessi, one of the goalies in the SHL, very active with his puck movement.
Luke Winger-esque.
I wouldn't go that far now.
Titans with goals tonight from Dylan Lytle, Blake Hoffer, Adam Sokol, Ben Stevens, in that order, as Ben Stevens extends a goal-scoring streak to 3 straight games in SHL competition. Scored against Loyola, New Trier, and now Fenwick, as the Titans with goals from 4 unique skaters so far. Here's an attempt for number 5 behind the net. Preston goes over to Higgins. Now Preston centered it. Tipped behind the net by Pasternak. Is a Titan taken down? No penalty called. As the official score has been a little lonely here tonight. No penalties in the game yet, as this one sent all the way down for icing.
Yeah, Dylan, and just under 6 minutes left in this one, and Titans got to find a way to finish this one out. Again, this is one of the games where it's not a GBN, it's not a New Trier, but you got to find a way to get 2 points in this, because what you don't want is to get to the end of the season and say, oh my goodness, we have 6 points we need to make up, and we need to win out.
Fenwick, a team that you probably want to sweep if you're Glenbrook South coming into the season series. Again, the Titans defeated Fenwick 5-1 the first time these two teams played. That was at Glenview Ice Center. They'll play here tonight as this third period winds down, and then they'll play one more time at the Edge on January 5th. First game of 2025 that will be for the Titans.
Dylan, we have now hit the 10:05 mark on the clock in terms of time of the day.
Time of day, yes, that's
time
true.
Of day.
Late start, second late start in 3 nights for the Titans, but at least they don't have school tomorrow. Blake Hoffer taken down. David wanted a penalty. They're not going to get one. We'll have a look at the replay next whistle. As we're not quite there, David, but we're getting to that time where we'll have to keep a close eye down to our left. Here's Pap with a chance, sent that one wide of the net. And see when head coach of the Friars, Nick Fabrini, might pull his goaltender in favor of the extra attacker. Titans are on a delayed offsides here as there's a big hit. As the Titan fans are not happy with the call, but David, that was pretty obviously offsides.
No. Hoffer is going, or not Hoffer. I think they opened the penalty box. I'm not sure why. I think that's what it was. I don't think it's the Titan parents. I think it's the Fenwick parents that want a penalty there on Hoffer, as we're going to show another replay of that hit. But that's what they wanted, a penalty there on Hoffer, but he just returns the favor.
Yeah, that's pretty offsides.
Yeah. Oh, offsides on that one. But I think the Fenwick wanted a penalty on that too. But again, Hoffer just a big body, and you know, running into him is like running into a train. So
yeah, I mean, he was the biggest guy on the team last year when he was a sophomore. Now a junior, stands well above 6 foot, especially on skates. Committed to play baseball at the University of Illinois. Division I Big Ten. If you could believe hockey's not his primary sport.
And Dylan and the Titans got a few other guys on the team. You know, you look at the Fagan brothers, obviously Preston. I don't know why I can't think of more off the top of my head, but in terms of guys that they rely on right now that are not seniors and not graduating. Mulvey, another one, Vanderpoog, who's injured. So they're going to be strong on the defensive side of things, and that should be a hook.
Well, it'll be offsides, but still no penalties yet against either jersey color.
No, but Dylan, like I was saying, it's you know, high school hockey is one of those things where it kind of just depends on what age the kids are, and you know who goes to what high school, right? Because you're not picking where you play high school hockey at. So, and also who you can get from, you know, guys that are playing Falcons or Mission or whatever it is.
Right, and what's interesting is it's more of a melting pot in high school hockey, because of course you've got U18, U16, U14, but in this case, I'm not sure if Thomas Preston has had his birthday yet, but he's either 14 or 15 years old, playing on the same team and against other 18-year-olds, which is a pretty significant difference.
It is, and you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna put out the guy who is the best player regardless of age or whatever it is, because I'm sure any coach in the SHL would agree that at the end of the day, you just want to win.
Here's Bennell. Up high, Aiden Weller. Titans pressuring. Here's a shot by Weller. Save made by Alessi. As we get down to 3:21 to go in the third. The Titans outscoring the Fenwick Friars 2-0 here in this period, taking the tie off the board and giving them a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and Dylan, and another thing to note here, if the Titans can pull this off within the 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, is that's just to boost the confidence when they play at GBN tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Which is important because, you know, yes, it's not the North-South game, but 2 points is 2 points.
As the Titans have only lost 2 games in their last 6. Here's a shot by Pajurski, save made by Alessi. And David, both of those games were against New Trier Green. And I'm talking to SHL play only.
Dylan, we're gonna get a look at the replay here. It's just kind of that puck bouncing around a little bit. A few Titans able to get a stab at that, and just a little altercation after the whistle. Obviously nothing enough to get a penalty, but you could see a few players taking a whack at that puck as it's bouncing up and down. And if you're a Fenwick fan, thankfully for you, it did not find its way into the back of the net.
All right, here comes Sveet. Can't get past Ben Stevens. Stevens ahead, got it to Pajurski down low. Benji Pajurski goes between the legs and tries a shot, puts it on target, but Alessi makes the save. That would have been something special.
You know, I like the behind the net cam for this. As you can see, you get a really good look here of the, I mean, he's at that red line, so he knows he's got no other option except to go between the legs, and it's actually a pretty good effort there. It does give the Titans an offensive zone draw, because his other option is he goes behind the net, maybe tries to set something up, but Titans are in the middle of a change there, so that was really Pajurski's best option. And I tell you one thing is, you know, would have given Bennell some competition if he was able to bury that one. Also would have gave Gerard another short that he could put on YouTube.
That's exactly right. All right, under 3 to go. Goalie staying put for now as the Titans bring it over. Pap takes it away, plays it behind the net with pressure coming from Adam Sokol. They fight for it down in that near side corner. Still battling as it goes behind the goal. Now Hoffer over to the far side. He'll backhand this one deep, played off the glass. As now in the near side, it's Pabst. He gets it out to Bastido. Taken right away by Adam Sokol. Sokol retreats back and now will send it in again as he goes to the bench for a change. 2 minutes to play. Fenwick needs a goal quickly to get themselves within 1 if they want any chance. Gerard reminds me, don't worry, Gerard, I'm right on top of it. Got our new feature as this one's played offsides. Blake Hoffer right in front of the net. That would have been a nice chance.
Yeah, Dylan, and there's just under 2 minutes left in the game, but I also think that these interactions with our fans are important. He hops on the live stream.
Oh yeah, you're correct, Jeff, on my phone at the game. Yeah, there you go. There you go. He's probably got some texts about how we're talking about him on the broadcast.
Listen, he's got a fair point, though. It's the game's in double overtime.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's a valid reason.
What regular season game goes to double overtime? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. I'm just reading what this says.
This one's tipped ahead. Pajurski looking for Hoffer, didn't get it to him. As now here comes Fenwick. Goalie is racing towards the bench, so we have 6 attackers out there for Fenwick and an empty net to shoot at for the Titans. 1:20 to go. Knocked out of midair by Sveit. Played out to Hoffer. It goes right to him as he lifts the stick of Zorovic. Scores, but called offsides.
It was offsides. Sure. Unfortunate there. That one was just offsides, but you can see that Hoffer is in the zone before that puck. And that's actually going to give that's not a good look at that, but the Friars still have 1:12 to work with. They are facing a 2-goal deficit, but as opposed to 5-2, it's now it's 4-2. So they do have 1:12 to work with. So we'll see what they can pull off here.
This one shot deep. You've got your goalie cam down in that bottom left, so you can track that as it's played to the near side. 1 minute to go here in regulation time. Vegas, who has a goal tonight. Adam Sokol pressuring him. He'll sling this one down to the corner.
Dylan, and because Sokol slings that one all the way down, dumps it in, it keeps Alessi in the net for an extra 20, 30 seconds, especially considering that Fenwick's not able to get this out.
As he'll probably make the sprint now. Yes, there he goes. He gets the nod. Here's a centering pass. And the Titans try and clear it out. They cannot. Vegas sends it back up high feet, but taken away by Sokol. He'll have a crack. That one blocked, but only 30 seconds now. Fenwick can't waste any more time. Here comes Pap, getting this one ahead. White tips it in. Weller spins, gets it out to neutral ice again. 20 to go. This one lifted high to the near side, Vegas. He'll send it in. No Fryer chasing after it before Weller got to it. He'll ring it around the boards, far side. Sveit gets it back down low. Pap's taken away by Luke Fagan with a try for his first goal of the season. It didn't work. Now Surma swoops in there. He'll put it in with less than a second, and it'll be a 5-2 final score. The Titans win their first game of 3 games in 3 nights. 5-2 your final score against the Fenwick Friars as Frank Surma adds one. And the Titans here in SHL play, David, red hot. 5-1 in their last 6 games, picking up 11 of possible 12 points.
Yeah, Dylan, and that's exactly what the Titans wanted to start this 3-game stretch as a win against Fenwick. Obviously a lot tougher of a team this year compared to some of the last year's games and scores that they had, but exactly what they wanted, and they were able to click on the offensive side of things once that second and third period was underway.
All right, so you look at the standings now. GBN and York already winners here tonight. So Glenbrook South will move to 10-5-2, so it's their 10th win in SHL play. They'll stay in 6th place, but now only 2 points behind St. Viator, who occupies that 5th spot. And by the way, speaking of that New Trier game, how about St. Viator? Look at this, winning in overtime against New Trier, 3-2. So St. Viator's second win over the Trevians this season as a wild 4-game slate here in the SHL comes to a close.
Yeah, Dylan, and the Titans are going to be at it back at it tomorrow, so not a lot of time for rest, but enough time to get mentally focused for a big game tomorrow against GBN.
Well, listen, David, after a game here at 8:30 p.m. in recent weekends, that would mean their next one is at 9 a.m. the next day. So I'm sure they will appreciate just a little bit of rest, and it'll feel nice on their bodies based on what they've been used to. But a nice team effort by the Titans. They'll win this one 5-2, outshoot the Friars 27-16. And David, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I think that about covers it, Dylan. We'll see everyone back here tomorrow against GBN.
And no penalties in the game, David. So, we stay zero points in the standings for the 4 of us so far through 1 game played.
It'll give you enough time to make my Excel sheet.
Exactly. So for our entire crew, Brad Cesario on scoreboard in the top left corner of your screen, Gerard Boris, your technical engineer as always, David Ventura here to my right in the broadcast booth. My name is Dylan Ward, saying we appreciate you spending your Friday with us. One more time, the final: Titans 5, Friars 2, and we'll be right here back at it tomorrow for a home game. If you can't make it to the rink, you know where to find us right here on the South Hockey Network. 6:30 p.m. puck drop for meeting at number 2 of the season between North and South. We will see you then. As always, good night.